Life after 60 is quieter than people expect. The house does not announce it. There is no dramatic moment, no single morning where life suddenly becomes different. It happens more quietly than that. One day, the phone simply rings less. The calendar has more empty squares. The old rush to be somewhere, answer someone, fix something, prove something, begins to loosen its grip. At first, many people do not call this peace. They call it boredom or loneliness, or they wonder if something is wrong with them because life no longer has the same noise around it. But after 60, quiet is not always a sign that life is shrinking. Sometimes it is the first time life stops shouting over your own thoughts. Most people prepare for retirement financially. They think about savings, social security, healthcare, and the house. Those things matter, but almost nobody prepares for the silence. Nobody tells you what it feels like when the work calls stop, the children have their own routines, the old social circles thin out, and the day no longer arrives with instructions. That is why life after 60 can feel so strange. It is not only slower, it is less crowded. The first thing that gets quieter is urgency. For decades, life teaches people to move fast, get to work, get the kids ready, pay the bills, answer the message, make the appointment, handle the problem before it becomes a bigger problem. Then later, many of those alarms disappear. Not all of them. Life still has responsibilities. The roof can still leak. The doctor can still call. The car can still make that expensive little noise nobody wants to hear, but the old daily pressure often changes. There are fewer people waiting for you to perform on command. This can feel uncomfortable because urgency gives a person identity. Being needed makes the day feel important. Being busy makes life feel full. So when urgency fades, some people feel useless at first. But that feeling is not always telling the truth. A quieter day is not an empty day. It is simply a day that is no longer being controlled by someone else's clock. The second thing that gets quieter is the need to explain yourself. Earlier in life, people spend enormous energy explaining choices, why they work so much, why they bought the house, why they stayed in the marriage, why they left the job, why they helped one child more than another, why they did not visit, why they did not call, why they changed plans. After 60, many people slowly discover that not every decision needs a courtroom. You do not have to attend every gathering. You do not have to answer every question. You do not have to keep proving that your life makes sense to people who are not living it. That does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming honest about energy. A younger person often spends energy to keep every door open. An older person learns that some doors are not worth standing beside anymore. This is one of the quiet freedoms of later life. You begin to understand that peace often comes from fewer explanations. The third thing that gets quieter is the social circle. This part can hurt. People move away. Friends get sick. Some relationships fade because they were built around work, school, children, church, neighbors, or habit. Once the shared routine disappears, the relationship shows what it really was. That can feel like loss. And sometimes it is loss. But it can also be a filter. After 60, the number of people around you may become smaller, but the truth of those connections becomes easier to see. You notice who calls when they do not need anything. You notice who listens. You notice who makes you feel lighter instead of drained. A quiet social life is not automatically a poor social life. Sometimes it is just a more honest one. The danger is confusing fewer people with no people. Those are not the same thing. One real friendship can give more peace than 20 casual obligations. One weekly conversation that feels honest can matter more than a calendar full of events you attend only because you always have. The fourth thing that gets quieter is ambition. This is not the same as giving up. That is where people misunderstand it. Earlier in life, ambition often points outward. Better job, bigger house, more money, more recognition, more proof that the years are adding up to something. After 60, ambition often changes direction. It becomes less about expansion and more about preservation, preserving health, preserving peace, preserving dignity, preserving the ability to wake up without dread. To someone younger, that can look boring. To someone who has lived long enough, it can look wise. Not every season of life is meant to be louder than the last one. Some seasons are meant to become more accurate. You stop chasing things just because they are moving. You stop mistaking activity for progress. You stop believing every invitation deserves a yes. This is where the stoic part of later life begins to show up. Not in quotes on a wall, in the simple decision to stop being ruled by things you no longer value. The fifth thing that gets quieter is comparison. It does not disappear completely. Humans compare, that is part of the machine. But after 60, comparison starts to lose some of its power if you let it. You have seen enough lives from the inside to know that appearances are thin. The couple with the beautiful vacation photos may be exhausted. The neighbor with the new car may be carrying payments. The friend with the perfect family may be suffering quietly. After a while, the question becomes less, what do they have, and more, what does my life actually require to feel steady? That question is quieter, but it is stronger, because peace is rarely built by winning a comparison. It is built by needing the comparison less. The sixth thing that gets quieter is the fear of missing out. In younger years, missing something can feel dangerous. Missing the party, missing the chance, missing the promotion, missing the trend, missing the right moment. After 60, many people discover that missing certain things is not a loss. It is a relief. You can miss the argument. You can miss the crowded room. You can miss the drama. You can miss the pressure to buy something, join something, prove something, or keep up with something that never gave much back. And once you realize that, life gets quieter in a very practical way. You stop inviting noise back into your life just because it is available. This does not mean hiding from the world. It means choosing the world more carefully. The seventh thing that gets quieter is the inner voice, but only if you stop feeding it old noise. This is the part people do not expect. When life gets quiet on the outside, the inside can get loud for a while. Regrets show up. Old memories show up. Questions show up. Did I do enough? Did I choose well? Did I waste time? Did I love the right people? Did I become who I meant to become? That is why some people run from quiet. They fill every hour with television, errands, phone calls, shopping, scrolling, and background sound, because silence brings up unfinished thoughts. But the quiet is not the enemy. It is just honest. If you can sit with it long enough, it stops feeling like an accusation and starts feeling like space. Space to forgive yourself. Space to simplify. Space to notice what is still here instead of only what changed. This is the practical lesson of life after 60. Do not treat quiet as a problem too quickly. A quiet home can become a lonely home if there is no rhythm, but it can also become a peaceful home if you build one. A quiet calendar can become emptiness if nothing matters, but it can also become freedom if you choose a few things that truly matter. A quiet social life can become isolation if you stop reaching out. but it can also become wisdom if you stop giving yourself to people who only drain you. So the goal is not to make life noisy again. The goal is to give the quiet a shape. A walk at the same time each morning, one person you call every week, a meal you cook slowly, a chair by the window, a hobby that does not need to become a business, a small promise you keep to yourself each day. These things may not look impressive from the outside, but they give the day a spine. And after 60, that matters more than people think. Many people spend the first half of life trying to make the world notice them. Later, the deeper work is learning to notice the world without needing applause from it. The light in the kitchen, the sound of the street in the morning, the person who still calls, the body that still carries you, the quiet hour that used to be impossible to find. That is not a smaller life. That is a life with less static. So yes, life after 60 is often quieter than people expect. But quieter does not have to mean emptier. It can mean clearer. It can mean less performance, less pressure, less pretending. And if you learn to use that quiet instead of fearing it, it can become one of the most honest gifts of getting older. What surprised you most about life after 60? The silence, the freedom, or realizing how much noise you no longer want?